my name is Kendi. I'm a fashion and lifestyle content creator. Always be financially independent. You can have love and make money at the same time. I love food.
And I'm back.
And I've been doing this for over 10 years. I'm Kenyan. I was born in Meru. Then we moved to Nairobi. Then my mom got the chance to do her PhD in the US, where we moved to Michigan. Then I basically did all of my education there, basically from the 3rd grade, standard 3, till 2 years into college. Then I moved back to Kenya. I guess I've always been into fashion in some degree. When I was younger, I used to do little sketches of like outfits. I used to have dolls and create them little outfits from like extra fabric that we'd have around the house. And I started off wanting to be a designer. Then I decided it's not really my passion to maybe create. My genuine passion was sharing information. So that's when blogging came in. And I just like being able to, hey, I got this really cute outfit from this and this place. Oh, I've eaten at this place. You should go try it out. That's just where more of my passion kind of stems from, which is why even being able to expand it all the way to like doing reviews on how to take photos with your own camera and reviewing different phones and stuff like that just became an easy way to just for me to evolve into that. But when it comes to my childhood, it was pretty simple. It was the same childhood as everyone else has. I come from a single parent household. My mom, she's one of the strongest people that I know, which I think was the reason why I've been able to do this for as long as I've been able to do that, because she taught me strength. Because she was a single mom, had to work 3 jobs, basically to keep me and my sister happy. There was even a time where she worked at a kitchen while still doing her PhD, which was washing dishes. So I feel like I got a lot of like my work ethic. I got a lot of my work ethic from my mom. Life after high school, I started off doing 2 years in college in the US, then I moved here, then I went to USIU. During that time, I kind of just used that, because I always knew that I never wanted to do a master's, never wanted to do I'm not a school person. I believe school is very important, but I'm not a let's go to PhD kind of person. So I decided to use my bachelor's period, when I was doing my bachelor's degree, to explore what I'm into more. So that was the time that I did a lot of internships. I tried to get internships within TV. I interned at KTN for a few months. I interned in a production company. I interned as a fashion stylist for a little bit. I worked in TV for like less than a year. I kind of just used that time to just bounce around and see what I'm into while I'm still in school. And that's when I started getting into blogging, especially after interning in a production company. I started learning the back end of how to shoot and photography and everything between that. So yeah, I kind of just used my college years to just figure out what it is that I wanted to do and how to basically turn it into what it is now.
So this coffee table is actually a cushion that we had made with the couch. Usually it has a glass thing that we place on top of it, but it's not that cute. That's why I took it off.
My mom was very supportive about what it is that I wanted to do. My mom is a professor, so she only had one rule. If you fail class, then we got a problem. As long as you continue going to school and you graduate on time and you continue passing all your classes, she didn't care what I was doing in my free time, especially if what I was doing with my free time was something productive. I wasn't being reckless, I wasn't being wild, I was trying to grow myself. When it comes to my journey, I started off a little bit over 10 years ago. It started off as a hobby. I started off fashion blogging, where I would just show people how to dress on a budget, how to shop thrift, Gikomba, toy market, Ngara, things like that. And slowly, just over the years, I guess expanded what it is that I do. So it moved from just fashion to fashion and beauty makeup. Then I slowly started to involve other things such as cooking, traveling, tech reviews when it comes to like phone reviews and camera reviews. and it just slowly just evolved from there.
Those stretch marks are really honestly not that serious. It sucks now, but I swear you'll get over it. It's like, who cares? There's stretch marks. It just means one or two things. You're smaller and got bigger, you're bigger and got smaller. It doesn't really matter because...
So I do everything from Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I used to do blogging, I no longer do blogging, but if you go to my YouTube channel, you will notice that my title on there is African Blonde Baldy. And I mean, you can't tell now, but I usually have blonde shaved head. Out of everything that I do when it comes to content creation, whether it's fashion, beauty, lifestyle, travel, everything between that, my favorite aspect of what it is that I do is weirdly the production aspect. So for me personally, I'm a one-man team, so I shoot and edit all of my own content, photography, videography. I do 90% of everything I do by myself. So for me, that is my favorite part. I love the creation aspect. To the point that I struggle to work with having a production team just because that is my favorite part, and if that part was taken away from what I do and my only job is to post, I probably wouldn't do what I do.
Let's give it a taste. So this side burnt a little bit, but that's just because it's thinner.
When I was in college, I studied psychology and minored in philosophy. But the blogging thing honestly just happened after. There were a few bloggers that I followed internationally, and I just really loved what it is that they do. And at the time, blogging wasn't really what it is now. It wasn't a job, it was literally a hobby. So I just used that time. I used an old broken camera that my sister had. The screen didn't work, but it would take the photo, so I kind of just used that. And I just started my blog, and my blog originally was called Our Style Kenya. And then I eventually changed it to Just Joy Kendi because I wanted to create a business around myself. And once you made it Our Style Kenya, it became way too vague. And and the reception was, I don't know, at the time, a few people would read it, a few would not, but I was doing it as a hobby. So I wasn't really focused on the reception. I just wanted to just do it because I wanted to do it. The very first job that I got as a content creator was one of the biggest learning lessons for me. It was through an agency. I don't need to mention them because they're no longer existing, but it was a shifty agency. Always have contracts and have emails, no word of mouth. My biggest mistakes was number one, not understanding the importance of having documented proof of everything. Everything from contracts, when you guys agree on things, having it on emails, not just talking it out, because you need to have paperwork and a paperwork trail. When it comes to anything, especially when it comes to anything work related. Another huge mistake was, like for me personally, I wish I got into YouTube a lot earlier than I did and was more consistent a lot earlier than I was. I've just started being consistent on it, so that's something that I wish that I got into a lot sooner. Other than that, I feel like most of the mistakes that, I don't want to call them mistakes because I feel like those are just, it's something that you kind of just have to go, it's growing pains, like you just kind of have to go through it. Like even just small things like learning how to be smart with your finances from the get-go and not learning later in life. I feel like I wish that I knew that earlier, but I'm happy that I still learned it when I did. One of my biggest highlights in what I've done so far is just being able to find myself in a point where I am constantly employed, which was a huge dream of mine for so many years. But I'll definitely give you guys a little bit more after this commercial break. So welcome back. Like I had mentioned, one of my biggest highlights was just being able to find myself in a place where I am financially secure, which means that I am employed constantly with what it is that I'm doing. And for me, in order to get to this point was a lot of tears. It literally took me over 8 years of doing what I do in order to get to the place that I am now. It was very, very hard because being able to do this, you have to be very consistent. So even in all those over 8 years, I was posting every single day on social media. I was always doing some form of content, whether it was video, whether it was photography, and doing that constantly and always being consistent and not feeling that you are getting what you feel like you have earned is very, very, very hard. But once I finally got to that point, I decided that this is 100% what I want to do for the rest of my life. My biggest lesson, and I think this is like something that most 20-year-olds, because I know when they turn like 22 to 27, they go through, actually to 29, they're always questioning if they are succeeding in life. My biggest lesson, I'm 33, is patience is key. The concept of you having your life together at the age of 22 is silly and ridiculous. Patience is everything in life, in your career, in your love life, like everything. Given where I am right now, I always remember how stressed I used to be in my 20s about my career and where it was going. I realize now that if I had half the opportunities that I have now then, I was not ready. Like I was not ready for the workload, I was not ready for the production quality that is expected, I was not ready business-wise, I was not ready when it comes to my financial literacy. I was not ready at all. So everything kind of worked out in a pace that has benefited me the most now. In my free time, I create content. I don't know, like it's my hobby. I genuinely enjoy it. If I'm not doing that, then I'm with my closest friends. And what's my thing? Food. I love, 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 love food. And what's not my thing is anybody who thinks they're better than anybody. I just don't like that. I don't like it.
And it's okay. It's okay to not force yourself to be in situations that you don't want to be.
Social media can make or break people, basically. Social media is very, very strong. It can make or break countries, it can make or break people. It can change lives, it can also ruin lives. So social media is one of the most powerful tools, things on the planet right now.
I would pitch ideas to so many clients and I would get rejected on a day-to-day basis.
How you brand yourself plays a very huge role, because at the end of the day, you have to be able to find brands and companies that feel that you align with them and who they are as a brand and their story that they're trying to tell. So how you portray yourself on social media, how you portray yourself on YouTube, how you portray yourself basically in any public setting plays a very huge role. And everything from the photos that you take to Insta stories. I know a lot of people have this mentality that it goes in 24 hours. It doesn't, it's the internet, it's forever. So how you portray yourself online plays such a huge role on whether or not you can be a paid content creator. I have a vision board that I always try to renew or remake every single year. I only didn't do it last year because pandemic happened in 2020, so I just moved the same vision board for 2020, 2021. But the purpose for me for using a vision board is to, number one, visualize what my goals are, whether it's in 5 years, 10 years, it could be in a year, it could be 3 months. I can visually see it every single day. And the purpose of it is to always keep me going. I always know why I'm doing what the things that I'm, like, I know why I'm doing what it is that I'm doing so that I can reach a specific goal. So if you've never had a vision board, I highly suggest that you look into one. There's a lot of articles about it, there's a lot of videos about it. Some people say do an actual physical vision board where you cut out things yourself. I personally am not that kind of person. My life is revolving around computers at all times, so I made mine through Photoshop, and I just put it on my phone, on my laptop, and so I can always have one physically looking at me at all times. But I highly recommend getting a vision board, at least at the very least to just help you focus on what your goals are. I always receive the question about what's my 5-year plan, my 10-year plan. I first of all don't like publicly discussing what my 10 or 5-year plan is, mainly because I feel like it's a personal journey for myself, and I don't feel like I should be involving other people who don't know me personally in an intimate level to be able to be part of that and dictate how I should feel about certain things. So just generally when it comes to my 5-year plan, 10-year plan, I have one. I just don't talk about it like this. I keep it between me and like my very close-knit family and friends. I don't have a role model. I have people that I look up to, I have people who inspire me, and it's not because some people look at that as like, oh, so you think you're so cocky, you don't need a role model? No, I just feel like it's hard, and it's also a disservice to yourself to focus and put all your energy on one person and be like, that's my role model. So my mom is always going to be somebody who I look up to, always. She's so hardworking, she's incredibly intelligent, she's like a beast. So I'll always look up to her. My sister is the most empathetic person I've ever met. In like every single time I feel anything, I can always call her, and she always inspires me to be the best. Like she's like my biggest cheerleader. Like Rihanna, when it comes to fashion, I will always look up to her because she inspires me here and there. My point is, I have many people who inspire me. I just don't like to put it on one person to be a role model, because you can get so much more from so many different people than you can get from one person. So what do I do to just basically keep up with how fast everything always moves when it comes to social media is, number one, I don't fight the process. It is what it is. New social media pages will come up every other day. It is what it is. I feel like a lot of people fight it. Like when TikTok came around, there's some people were like, oh, I could never do TikTok. And I'm not gonna lie, I was that girl for exactly 2 months, and I was just like, it's not going anywhere. So I downloaded it. Started getting onto TikTok. It is what it is. You just move with the times. Outside of that, I think research plays a very huge role. I make it a point to always research how to edit, how to shoot, different editing techniques, color grading, just everything when it comes to content creation. I always try to keep up with what's in right now to always make sure, at the very least, my quality is always up to par of that time. A couple of mistakes that a lot of younger people do is, number one, I had mentioned patience. Patience is such a big thing. You can't look at somebody who's been doing something for over 10 years and then compare yourself to them and be like, why am I not there at the age of 20? It's not fair to you. It's not, like, it just doesn't make sense. So a lot of people just do not have patience. A lot of people are not willing to do the actual hard work that is involved to get to a certain point. Or to get to the goal that they're trying to get to. So for example, with what I do, I get a lot of DMs from younger ladies being like, I want to be a content creator, I've been doing this for so long and I've not gotten any money, and I check on their page and they've been doing this since 2019 and they still post like once a month. That's not the kind of effort that you need to put into what it is that I do. You can't post once a month for 2 years and be like, why am I not making so much money? Because you're not putting in the effort and the work that needs to be done in order to get to that point. A lot of people are not willing to do the research that it takes to get to this point. I Googled how to do everything. I Googled rate card, I Googled how to edit, I Googled how to write proposals, I Googled how to write profiles. None of this was given to me. None of this was something that I knew how to do. And now in a world with so much knowledge and so much information out there, if you don't have an answer to it, there's no reason why you should not do something. Just Google it and then do it. To all my young ladies out there, my biggest, I don't know, it has nothing to do with what we talked about, but my mom taught me this, is always be financially independent. Just trust me, always be financially independent. When you start making money, focus on you making money. You can have love and make money at the same time. A lot of women find themselves in situations that they don't want to be just because of financial security. But if you have that level of financial security, you don't have to be somewhere you don't want to be. Like you don't have to. Be very financially literate. Be very good with your finances. Know where all your money's coming in, where it's going. Start looking to investments once you start making money. And yeah, just be financially independent. If you ever want to catch up with me and what it is that I do, you can catch me on Instagram, where I do a lot of fashion, beauty, travel content, a lot of transitions, reels. You can also catch me on TikTok. I do a lot of content like that there as well. And you can also catch me on YouTube, and on Instagram, I'm just Kendi. TikTok, Miss.Kendi, and on YouTube, Kendi.